Regardless of whether you want to use it for online work, for work in the classroom, or for sending your students work to do in these crazy Corona days, Google Forms is a very, very useful way to gather all the information together, send it to your students, and collect their responses. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. First thing that you do is you open up a new Google form. What I've done here is Judy has prepared an entire lesson. She prepared all the pedagogy ahead of time, and I'm just taking it and I'm turning it into a Google form. So I'm going to show it to you on my screen. This is the lesson that she's prepared for us. And I have all the links ready and everything that I want to do. The Google form is about washing your hands. How appropriate. You put the title in here and then you click on top and it gives you the name. I'll add the instructions afterwards. There's all sorts of things that you could put into the Google form, and I want to add a picture first of all. So I'm going to click on Add Image. So I've saved the image in my computer. I'm just going to plunk it right in there. Okay, so here I have the image, and the instructions will be read these instructions. So we also want our students to learn vocabulary for this. We could do it in two ways. Either we can add a Quizlet, and I made a Quizlet that includes the words here, and I'm going to grab the link, and I put the link there. Or I could add another picture that has the vocabulary in it, which I also prepared ahead of time. Now I'm going to start adding questions. First questions we have are going to be true or false. Since I've typed them out already, and it gives me suggestions. I can do true or false. Now if I want them not to be able to skip over a question, I have to click here so that it is required. And I'm going to add another true-false question. And again, it is required. I could also duplicate this question and just change the sentence, which saves me a bit of time. Not that this really takes a lot of time. I'm going to duplicate it again. I've got 6 questions here. And that way I don't have to mark each time that it's required, and I don't have to write in the true-false. There we go. So we've got our true-false section. Now I want them to watch a movie. So I'm going to click on Add a YouTube, and I have the movie already. I'm just going to plunk the link in here. And I don't have to give it a title. I can if I want to. And the next question that I want to ask is an open-ended one. So I'm going to leave it, you can have a short answer which gives a little rectangle, but I want to leave a little bit more space for this one. And again, that is required. Now I have a bonus question, so I'm going to make that a new section. And this section is going to be called Bonus Question. For the bonus question, I want them to go to a website and read it. Put the URL here. Now I've got all of the questions. I'll show you. All the questions are already here. So all I have to do is copy and paste them. So my question is, when should you wash your hands? And this is going to be checkboxes. And I'm going to copy all of the questions that I just showed you and paste, and they're already here. And I'm not clicking required here because this is a bonus question. I'm going to add another section to it. I'll call it writing. And this is going to be a paragraph. You know what? Earlier I made room for a paragraph, but I'm going to change those. Where did I put it? To short answer. And you'll see what it is here. This is short answer because there's not that much information needed. And here for the writing, they're going to write it in a paragraph, and that way they can write as much as they want. And then task 2. I have one more part to this activity they want to add. I'm going to add it as a new section because there's not really any content in it. It's not a question. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Okay, washing your hands. That takes us directly to the Quizlet, where it has all the words. Or if you don't use Quizlet, you can always put the vocabulary as a JPEG, as a picture. We have the questions, and in order to continue, all of these questions are required. You could tell that they're required because they have the little star. And then we have this movie that we'll watch, and we'll write down our answer. And then we'll go to the next section. This is a bonus question. So this question, as you see, there's no little red star there. And I'm just going to mark this, and next. Task 1, describe. I'm just going to take a whole bunch of words and paste them in here just so that we could see what it looks like. Next, you don't have to save ever. And the task, the final task, is filming themselves. And that I don't do here, so I submit my form. What I've forgotten to do, and is very, very, very important to remember, is up here, if you click settings, you say collect email addresses and send response receipts, which means that they're going to get an email saying that they've submitted their work. And that's really important. And they can also edit after submit. So now we have collecting email addresses. And in addition to that, I want to know who this is from. So I have the email address where I'll be able to respond to them, their name. If you're working with a class where the kids don't have email, then you can forgo the email and but be sure to ask for their name, otherwise you're not going to know who sent it in. And you'll give them the answers on the Mashov or whatever system that you're learning. Okay, so I have one response, and you'll see all of the responses that the people wrote here. They'll all be here. In addition to that, in order to get the responses, you can see responses according to question. Here it's only me that responded, so you don't see a whole lot, but when you have a whole class full, you have all of their responses here. You could see it according to individuals, and in order to collect all the responses, you open up a new spreadsheet. You do create. And this is where you're going to have all the answers. You'll see exactly when they answered. If you remember, I added email and name after I already filled it out. So that's why it's not here, but it will have their email address here. It will have their name here. You have all of the questions, and you can give them feedback on it. It's also possible to do this like Sigalit Arditi does in her amazing project. That's the What's Up project, which Sigalit Arditi's project, which you can find on Facebook. And she has a ton of these, which you can use as well. But the reason why I'm teaching you how to do this is so that you'll be able to make it according to your class, according to your material, according to your needs. Here's one more point. If after you've gone to all this work, one of your colleagues sees this and you want to share it with them, but you don't want them using your form because otherwise you'll be getting their students' responses. There's 2 steps that you have to do in order to share it. First of all, you go to Add Collaborators, and here you change it to say that anyone with the link can edit. So that's step 1. Step 2, you take this URL up here, and at some place in the URL, you'll see the words edit. You delete those words edit and write the words copy, and then you highlight the address, the URL, Control-C, copy it. You email that to someone else, and they can make a copy of your form. They'll get this screen. They click on Make a Copy, and it makes their own copy, which they can alter without changing yours. They'll get their own students' responses, and you can share the love. I hope you find this helpful. Wishing everybody good health. We're doing our best in Read to ensure that no teacher remains alone. No teacher gets left out. Contact us if you need us. Bye, everybody.